Hello and welcome to Nintendo Voice, your voice for everything Nintendo. This is episode 148, being recorded live on the 1st of August 2018. My name is Lewis Pugh, and joining me to talk all things Nintendo, we have Harrison Milfeld.
Greetings, everyone.
And of course, we have Colin Crompton.
Hey, Colin Crompton. You guys, like, those who don't watch the video version of this podcast, you have to, just to watch Lewis do his introductions. Because whenever it comes to his name, he points at himself.
Well, they could
As
be
if we wouldn't know.
I mean, there's only ever one face on the screen, but just in case there's any confusion out there, this one's Lewis.
This one is
This is not Lewis right here. This is not Lewis.
See, it's helpful.
Oh no, the way you're answering that, you're just saying like, I'm Lewis Pugh? Question mark.
No one knows.
And of course, this is that show where we talk about those Nintendo things, and we've got both news and some what we've been playing today. And we're going to jump straight in to what we've been playing, which is pretty much how we usually do things around here. If you do, as Colin did advise, want to check out the video, do go over to youtube.com/Nintendo Voice, where you can check us live most weeks. And of course, you can check out our archive of quite a lot of video podcasts now. Of course, audio only on the audio services. However, Colin, I'm going to pick on you.
Don't pick on him.
That's the worst wording for that. I'm going to pick on you.
Well, it was very deliberate.
Okay.
It's punishment. I want you to talk about some video games.
Oh.
Which ones have you been playing this week?
There's a challenge. So, okay, let's talk about video games. How about that for a concept? I was going to mention I've been playing Fortnite, which I have, but I feel like I talk about that most weeks. So I'm going to diverge into something a little different that I've started doing. I started up a new randomized run of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Ooh, and so this isn't your first one, is it?
No, my first one ended in failure.
Oh, what kind of failure? Did they decide to up the ante at the water temple? Even though I do still believe the water temple, when people complain about it, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
I didn't even make it to the water temple. I got out of the forest, barely. I found a sword and shield in weird places. Did the Deku Tree. No, I did do a Deku Tree because I couldn't find the slingshot, which means you can't clear Dungeon 1. I had bombs, but I didn't have the slingshot, so I couldn't clear Dungeon 2 because there's a bit where you did a slingshot for that too. It's like, so it kind of ended. So I left it for a while, and I was like, well, I'm going to look up for a new randomizer. And I found a new one that actually makes the games beatable. It shuffles all the items in the game, but it makes it so there's a clear path for you to actually go.
So was that a problem with the build you originally played? That you could be served up a version of the game which was not beatable?
Exactly. That was the issue. Because what they did was it just literally shuffled all the items around it. You could find a heart on the floor, pick it up, gives you a hook shot. And every single heart will give you a hook shot.
Oh.
Yes. Which is bizarre.
Only handy the first time.
Only handy the first time. Yeah.
Only very handy the first time, but only handy the first time.
It's not the worst item to get, but yes. But also, I started up a new one with this new roundabout, and it works great. It works great. So far, everything's going smoothly. One cool thing they do, which the other one didn't do, this one, they strip out all the cutscenes. So there's no talkie bits, really. Okay. Like, the intro is just like, you start at Nick's house, and you've got no items, so you have to go and, it's standard stuff. So you find the sword in the Kokiri Forest as usual, all that good stuff. The best thing this randomizer does, though, it randomizes the songs that you learn. This is where your knowledge of the game comes into play, because you will get a song like you could learn the teleportation songs first. Like Infa taught me the Lake Hylia teleportation song, the Serenade of Water. So I was like, oh, okay. So now I can get to Lake Hylia without having to have any. I don't have to go through the Zora Palace or the Zora Place and anything like that. Yeah, so it's little things like that kind of make it fun. Also make it kind of frustrating because it's like, I need, like, Zelda's Lullaby is the most important song in that game. it opens up so much, and I don't have it.
So I guess like, do you know what the like the shortest like list of things you need to do is to beat the game in that sense?
I mean,
or I guess it's partly luck of the draw of what you actually are served on.
Luck, because
I'm guessing in short, you don't have to actually beat all the dungeons in the randomized version to beat the game. Yeah,
you don't. All you need to collect are the medallions. Once you get all the medallions, you can fight Ganon, because the temple is actually open. The temple time is open from the get go. So if you can make it to Castletown, you can be an Adult Link, which is fine.
Kind of Breath of the Wild, did it?
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, you just need medallions to beat the game. The medallions you can only get by beating the dungeons, but it's randomized. So you could do the Deku Tree and get the Fire medallion.
Sure.
The Adult Link's better to get. Yeah, so you can do it that way. I have found though that bombs are the most important thing in Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Because all the randomized items are in chests. So you can go to, like I said, the Deku Tree, and you can get the hammer in there. You can't use it, but it's there. The bombs break so many boulders with like holes in the ground, those little grottos with one chest in them, and like you need those. You need to find every single chest, and bombs obviously hold the most secret stuff. So yeah, so it's fun, but it is challenging because you have to kind of learn. You have to rack your memory of like where's all the secrets in this game, because you have to hunt down every single secret, and you have to do every single mini game. Even if before it just gave you like 5 rupees or whatever.
On the off chance there's a required item behind it.
The long shot, you don't know. Yeah, so that's kind of the frustrating side of things. You have to do like some of the most tedious side stuff, but you get rewarded for it, like you get, I don't know, magic power or something. Yeah, that's not good.
That sounds good. So what's your like schedule on that? I assume this is something you're streaming, right?
I am streaming it currently, yes. It's kind of like every other day so far. I'm slowly getting through it. It's fun. It's fun, but it is like I've got some clips of just sheer pain in my face where I've done something like the gold spiders. I've been hunting down the gold spiders, the gold sculptures, like mad, and the first reward I got was 5 rupees. And that's all it gave me. And I was just like,
so could there also be key items behind the reward to them?
Yes.
Yeah,
so there's one behind the 100. Like, you've got to find every single one. I'm like, oh, no.
Of course, yes.
But yeah. Because something you need like the hook shot, you need a boomerang or whatever. It's just
cool. But it definitely always serves up beatable games.
Yes,
that's the important part.
That's the thing they claim. They say every single game is beatable. I've yet to beat one, but so far it's going well.
Excellent.
It's going better. So yeah.
Well, there is that.
There's me.
All right. I think I'll jump in. I'll be the middleman.
Okay. I mean, well, I'm the middle child of my family. Is anybody else here? I can be the middleman.
Just the way that it pads between you guys chatting and me serving up the news and moment. I realise I've used up the word serve quite a lot this podcast.
Yeah.
I think I've gone 50 episodes without using it, and now
have you been playing a lot of Mario Tennis?
I have been playing some Mario Tennis.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's a segue for you if you're going to.
There's a segue.
I don't know if you're going to mention Mario Tennis, but if you are, there's a segue.
I wasn't.
Oh,
but
shame.
I should have just said it was all deliberate.
I served it up for you. Let's stop serving. Let's stop serving puns. Okay,
Yeah, I think we need some keen listener or watcher. Just tally up the serves and let us know at the end. I'm sure I'm in the lead. But Colin will make his best efforts now that it's competitive. So I've been playing a little bit of Mario Tennis. So I've been playing it more local. I've still not played much more of the single player.
Okay.
Nothing against it, but I feel Mario Tennis is, at least the console versions to me, are more fundamentally, you get 2 people on a couch and you get a rally going. And it's not necessarily a game you play for like an entire evening, but it is a fun, fast game back and forth. And, with the new powers and such do up the ante that is really cool. Especially, it's a tricky one because there's much more of a difficulty curve. Whereas traditionally Mario Tennis, you could pretty much like bring anybody in, like a Mario Kart style. All right, come out. We're gonna play some Mario Tennis. With all the new rules and moves, that's a lot more daunting for new players. I'm finding out. You do have the more simple rules, and that's probably what I'd recommend for someone if you don't have time to go. And again, it's a bit daunting. You go, all right, here's the, remember these at least these five key moves here, and you'll be all right. So start on the simple mode. But if you've got someone who's going to play it for a bit, return, do go with that traditional mode because you get some really cool rallies going and counters and double counters and
they recently updated it, I believe yesterday.
They did, yeah.
I don't have it with me right now. I know they did. I just briefly. What was the? I know they changed.
Yeah, so there's a few things.
They said Bowser Jr. got nerfed. I know that.
He did. Yeah, because he was very popular in online.
Breaking the game.
They've changed the single player a little bit. There was a common complaint that there was no retry option in the single player challenges. Okay. So you would have to fail, essentially, like exit.
If it's going badly,
the map screen, then go back in, but you would have the intro to the mission again. You'd have the characters chatting.
That's somewhat fundamental, though, right?
That's quite a fundamental thing, but it's good that I think it's getting more commonplace now, but it's still not common enough for Nintendo to step in and go, all right, hands up, we made not the best design choice here. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
We usually like Nintendo trots out as, this is the fun way to do it. We're teaching players,
This is the fun way to do it.
And good fundamentals, and but now they've changed it, which is good. And it's a lot of balance tweaks as well, which is nice to see. Because again, usually they would put out a multiplayer game, and that would be it. So if you would have a character which would, be stronger than everyone else, that would how it'd stay. But they're doing balancing tweaks, which is cool. But it's not just Mario Tennis and bringing to the table. I've got a new game.
No,
well, a new game for me.
Shocking.
I don't believe it's been talked about on this show in terms of anyone playing it.
Okay.
It's a game by former Rare developers.
Oh, okay.
Platonic.
Good for why?
You're doing ukulele. Wait, you're finally playing ukulele?
Finally playing ukulele. It was on a sale on the eShop.
I've not played it.
So it all makes sense now. Lewis picked up on the sale.
I know. As much as I said in the past, I can't wait to play this. It's just I've been incredibly lazy trying to get to it. So I apologize to everybody who calls me out on that.
Well, I've been the same. I was kind of jumping at the bit originally, especially on the announcement. I was also surprised it's one I didn't actually kickstart.
Right. Given the pedigree behind it.
Exactly, yeah, and backed Kickstarters before. But so I finally got round to it because of the sale, and something which I was curious about when they initially announced it for Switch was performance.
Right.
Because the original reception for ukulele was there's some good fundamentals. It's very much stuck in the past, whether that's a good or a bad thing.
Right.
But the launch version, the word on the street, as it were, is just
Broken?
that kind of that it just needed work still. It ran slowly, even on the PS4.
Sonic was bad.
Well, the original version, I can't remember, maybe it was the Xbox One version. One of the two versions ran surprisingly sluggish.
Right.
And the other version wasn't exactly perfect, but it was a fair bit better. And then over time they patched it, made things smoother. But even then I was thinking, well, this under the hood the Switch is a lot less powered. But long story short, if I hadn't known any different, I wouldn't have assumed so, because it just runs as you would want it to.
Right, so
it runs nice and smooth. It looks sharp. Admittedly, I think I've only played it portably as well. Now, Switch games, there's some oddities where some do run better portably than on TV. Mostly the opposite.
I kind of always, I hope they get that down to when it's parity between the two.
Yeah, I think that's a developer to develop thing, because I think Nintendo's first party stuff's always been parity.
Right.
Like developers can because technically they've got different power restraints,
Sure.
and so you as a developer need to make some considerations and compromises to use them both to their best advantage.
Yeah.
So, but portably, at least, is what I can speak to. It looks really great, like nice and sharp, nice and smooth. And it's if you've played Banjo Kazooie and you want more of that style of game, ukulele is what you want. It's that pitch. They've lived up to it.
Sold.
Exactly, yeah.
I know when it first initially came out on the PS4, PC, PS4, and the Xbox One, it wasn't really met with quite a bit good enough praise back then. But also, okay. Weren't those versions not the base versions, because the then Wii U version, which was canceled, then moved over to the Switch, that was the base version because Playtonic technically did not develop the other versions on.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's that was what they stated was the case. Yeah, the primary version, ironically, was the Wii U version, and I believe the Xbox One and PS4 versions was done. I'm not sure which studio, but was handled by Team 17, I believe.
Yeah.
Who was doing the publishing.
I'll look that up right now. I mean, this just shows because it feels like the game was just so much out of my memory at the point right there.
Oh, certainly.
Well,
it was Team 17 who handled them.
Team 17 published it.
Yeah.
So developed. Playtonic. It's not really saying right now on.
Yeah, you might need to do a little bit more digging to find, because I don't think they have their name on the box type status. Whoever did the actual ports, unfortunately.
But how is that Grant Kirkhope musical score though? Because if you always can count on those.
Beautiful. It's what you want. And to be fair, like it would feel like a different game without it. You put a different soundtrack to ukulele, and I think suddenly. It's not just nostalgia, but there's got to be some of that in play. Like you associate one thing with another, it puts you in the right place of mind.
I had the same experience when I played Mario plus Rabbids. I was like listening to the soundtrack and like, this sounds very Banjo Kazooie in places. Like it really. I know it's Grant Kirkhope again, but it's like it has that sort of sound. That sort of, I don't know what it is, but it's like recognizable. It's like. This is signature.
And it's hard to separate like what is from because you associate it from other good games and good music. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not good music, but I think it puts it to another level for people who have cherished memories of those sort of games.
Exactly. I mean, the one thing is, to me, it's very bouncy, very lovely to me. It's just like there's something like that really just echoes so much to me from my past. And about the porting duties, reading off there, it was the PC and the Wii U versions were basically the base version, whereas publisher Team 17, they assisted in porting the games to PS4 and Xbox One. So that clears that thing up.
Yeah, no, I've not put too much time into it yet, but yeah, I'm very good first impressions, like they were very transparent with this part, but it oozes with that Banjo-Kazooie vibe. Like you start in like the hub world sort of thing. And you're having a jolly time running around, and obviously you got it's your 2-character team combo with them hitting with the music and the colors and the googly eyes and things.
It seems a little strange, maybe a little too quick, but I can totally see these guys making it Smash.
Wait, ukulele?
Yeah, easily.
I'm not this version, I don't think.
No, I mean it'd be cool, I think, to see it, but I don't see it. I actually was speaking of that. Emily Rogers on Twitter. She posed a question about like third-party characters, and she had mentioned about how when it comes to like Smash representation to characters that have history of Nintendo, one they brought up was characters like
Captain Rainbow.
Not Captain Rainbow. That'd be a assist trophy maybe from Ninja. Just going with Ninja Gaiden. Yeah. I mean that has a history on there, and of course I mentioned on the past before.
Brutal, but yeah.
It is, but it's got a history. It's got a history in Nintendo platforms, but
Castlevania has to be first for me.
And that's what I kind of mentioned on there, too. It's like, you know what? If it's not Simon Belmont, that is also a good addition. But also, I just said about how, with all the legal loopholes that they would probably have to jump through this one, I think, especially with the company that I'm calling Dick Entertainment, that put out the Captain N cartoon. And yes, I'm referring to Captain N being on there. I think I would just lose it thinking like, because it would just be so insane to think about.
It's almost crazy enough to work.
I mean, Captain wasn't really a thing over here, so for us, it does nothing.
And unfortunately, it doesn't do much for Japan. So, but it's one of those things which is weird enough. It might end up in there.
True.
And I feel like they like to dip from the weird and the unexpected.
Martha Roy and Fight Melee, we didn't know who they were, but they were awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's got a lot of history, but having like Game & Watch as a character is like a weird move. Even though like Game & Watch was a successful line for them at the time.
Well, Rob the Robot was a weird move to whatever. But
exactly, yeah.
But back onto the whole ukulele, being the character. I mean, I know we've gone from how's this game to like, well, being Smash. I know it's a very weird transition to here. It's just if we were going to be talking about like third or indie characters, I mean, it's who knows? Shovel Knight.
It's got to be Shovel Knight definitely makes it in before ukulele do.
Yeah.
But on the subject, but back on ukulele, but you said you're just enjoying it so far. But to me, it's like, do you feel like though a lot of those mechanics have been carried over that you see through Banjo-Kazooie? Because I think one criticism I did see about this is that yes, you get all that great gameplay that you see that was formulated and put into a base that you saw with Banjo-Kazooie, but it's like they didn't do anything much with it to advance it.
Correct. I would agree with that. Like it's not like what Mario Odyssey is to Mario 64.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is what a true like Mario 64 2 would be to Mario 64, which I don't think is what people would want in that sense. But
really? I would love it.
Oh, would you really? Like if Odyssey was the scope basically of 64,
yeah,
and you jump into the levels, but they are like, all right, you've got these 6 challenges here. Oh, fair enough. Like
I would absolutely be up for that. Absolutely.
Certainly, but I reckon it wouldn't be as critically acclaimed as Odyssey was because it did change things up. It had the capping mechanic changed a lot of things. Just being able to control and have different move sets, and even like add personality into the game where obviously how the end happens as well. But lots of just little quirky things throughout. Where if it was just the very traditional, you have the exact same moves as 64, but some new levels, and that was the only twist.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. It feels more like a expansion to the game rather than a whole new game.
Exactly, and this is essentially what this is. But it's been such a long time since we've had a game in this style. And I know there's been recently some other games in this vein, like you've got A Hat in Time, which admittedly I've not played yet. And there's been some other like 3D platformers which deliberately harken back to like the 64 era.
Right.
But there aren't many, and they're definitely not being made by the big developers. But this feels like it is kind of. But just no one's like stepping in and saying, "Oh, change this for this reason." So in that way, I think it's again very early on, but I think it's achieving what it wants to. But it is exactly what it says on the tin. Harrison, you're right there. It's not advancing that formula at all. But if you've got the itch to play one of those types of games, but you actually want something new, you want some new levels, you want some actual new puzzles, some challenges, this is a good game to check out. Yeah, I think that will wrap up Ukulele for now. Once I've got a few levels under my belt, I'll give some more thoughts. But yeah, that's all from me for now. That's what we've been playing. So, Harrison, what have you been up to?
I have finally gotten around to finishing Celeste, and long and short of it, man,
best game on Switch.
It's probably my favorite game so far of 2018 right now. I mean,
okay.
It essentially, and this encompasses everything else to it, because never did I think that a 2D platformer of this type, especially with its little story and its little hidden and its own little subtext and subversiveness of basically talking about bits of depression and dealing with anxiety, I never thought that there were times this not only I'd be having so much fun with a challenge that this game would be offering me, but also something that would just connect with me on a own personal level. The story between like Madeline and her own self her other self that she sees on the mountain that she's climbing, to me is something that I kind of connect with. I mean, there's so many times in my life where I just feel like there's things I just can't feel. Things are so insurmountable. That's just the game itself. If that didn't have it, I'd still love this game. It's just this added to it. is just the sprinkles and basically the cherry on top of the whole thing to me, because it's just such a great package of a game that's so much challenging, but also one that just, for anybody who has problems like this, you can relate to. And I still have not gone back to collect the games, like the mini strawberries that are littered throughout the game, which you collect, because I believe that also unlocks an 8th chapter at the end, whatever. I've learned that. So, and I was actually surprised I collected so many. I was like, oh, I only collected this amount.
Like 4%.
No. It said at the end, it's like there was like 180, I think, or 195, and I collected like 125. Oh, wow.
That's like Banjo-Kazooie territory of like collectibles.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, these are some. There will be times where, I mean, you've played it, right, Colin? Right?
No, I have not.
But you're familiar.
I've played it, but I've not beat it.
But Colin, you're familiar with like the mechanics.
I'm totally familiar. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think the one thing, because with the character that you're controlling, whatever, obviously, is that you're scaling a mountain, and of course with this type of game, whatever, it's you're given a bit of a dash move that was able to basically, like, once you jump, it gives you basically an extra, it's essentially a double jump. Right. But thing is, you won't get that double jump back until either you are on solid ground or you meet another condition. Like, for instance, in the game, there's these little bouncy things on the walls that basically will project you. That will give you another boost, essentially, to reuse it. And then later in the game, I wouldn't call this a spoiler, you get the ability for basically another boost that you'll be able to jump. Whoa. And to me,
that's going to lead to some intricate platforming.
Oh, no, it really is, because never in my times where I didn't feel incredibly frustrated. The only time I felt frustrated was like if I'm trying to collect some of these these little strawberry things, which of course are just extra to the whole game. It's like, if you can avoid those all you want, you can collect those all you want, but they're just not integral unless you want to get full completionist mode and get an extra chapter to it. But it's but again, I was just attached to it. I was like, I just saw them like, I have to get this thing, because it's just going to bug the hell out of me if I just don't. And even at the end, when I got to it, I mean, where I felt like this game's going to get me to a frustration where I'm just not going to pick it up, because it didn't. And that's not to say it didn't. I will say it is definitely a challenging game, but it never once where I just put it down like, okay, screw this game, I'm done with it. But there'd be times I'm like, I'll try again later on. And then by the umpteenth attempt, I'm able to get through another screen and then, get to another checkpoint. And even when you die in this game, it's just like quick and snappy, whatever, where it gets you back to one point.
That's what you want with any challenging platformer. I mean, Super Meat Boy kind of taught us this. Like, any challenging platformer, that's what you want.
Yeah, you just want to be right back in the action, just directly out of the way. I mean, people like to give like Donkey Kong Country Returns or even Tropical Freeze a hard time for its difficulty, but I will say for at least those games on there, depending on how quick on there, I mean, it doesn't punish you so much because it gives you so many opportunities for extra lives. Right. That's where I feel like that is able onto it. In this case, though, when I got near the end, I mean, I just felt like I was at the height of my own powers of just getting, like, once you're just getting near the top of the mountain, it's just like, oh, wow, how am I going to get past this part of this area, whatever? And I feel like I may have to turn on assist mode, which, by the way, I'll say, like, people who use assist mode, if that's when you're one way to play, you know what? Good for you. Good for you on there, whatever. I mean, I'm glad people are able to enjoy a game without having, being handicapped by something like that. It's the same thing with, like, when I say... No, it's the same thing when I see... People were ragging on, like, when Fire Emblem Awakening came out and they had, like, the mode where it's like, hey, if these characters die within this chapter, don't worry, they come back in the next one. Mm-hmm. It's like... And people are like, oh, you just get good being new.
Oh, yeah, that's not Fire Emblem. It's like, yes, but to some people, that's a huge detriment to their enjoyment. Because you can put so much time into a character and they die. It is frustrating. It is like, forget this game.
No, you're right.
If it's going to be the difference of someone actually playing through the game and more importantly enjoying it, but it could just be the fact that it presents too much of a challenge. They just wouldn't play the game. Really? Yet if you bring this mode and they do play it, surely that's a positive. If you're getting more people playing something you like as well.
I know that's although I will definitely kind of question in Fates where the other mode where it's like when a character dies, they come back the next turn. I'm just like,
is that Phoenix mode or something?
Yeah, Phoenix mode. But I'm just like, okay. I was like, that's kind of okay if you want to play that.
It's a strange one, but there must have been some sort of feedback which got them to make the mode
We want it easier.
I see what you mean, but I mean, if it helps like a handful of people, even worldwide, then as long as it's not taking anything away from the mode you like,
Yeah,
surely it's
Exactly.
At that point, I would kind of say,
oh,
like that's hand holding to an extreme. This mode is like that's. I mean, you've already have an easier mode that strips it down even more.
But then again, we do have funky mode. Remember.
we do.
Yeah, but it's like, again, I think the overall arc of this, what I'm saying is like, if these, I'm glad these modes exist because people are like, well, where's the challenge? Like, it doesn't take away the fact that you can have a challenge in this other mode. I mean, when I was playing like Fire Emblem Fates, for instance, when I got to Conquest, the harder of all 3 of the chapters, I played the secondary mode on there where my characters would come back because I just knew, like, I just want to get through this entire segment of the story because I know this is going to be hard. And thank goodness, because there'd be so many times I'd be hitting what was it, like LR and start, which is basically the Fire Emblem way of just hard reset.
Soft reset, yeah. I'm intrigued to see if the 3 houses will carry this feature over. Be intriguing.
I hope so too. But my final thing on Celeste though is that it's just a masterclass in type of platforming, and I urge anybody out there just to seek it out. Whatever mode you like to play, whether it's assist mode or basically to the regular mode they have on there, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever, it's a great overall game where even if you have problems with dealing with like depression or anxiety and things like this, there's things in this game that really just kind of connect with me, like and it empathizes with you. And to me, that's the type of game right there that really hits me to a point where I'm like, it gets me. It gets me so well to a point where I'm like, I need to go out and tell people about this game, like buy this game. It's just that dang good.
The moral of this story is Harren's basically saying, have fun with games. There's an original idea. Have fun with games.
Have fun.
Controversy. Let's have some fun with video games.
Yeah, I know, and I know.
Even though this put us out of a business.
Oh yeah, and I know, knowing if like whether it's personal levels or the stuff that goes on today's world right now that you feel like it's burning, whatever. I mean, it's good that you have video games to actually kind of. I mean, then again, video games itself always have like political subtext and things like that, and I'm actually glad that has there because it's games are art, games are very subjective ever, and I wish there were more games like Celeste that tell about things dealing with like mental health, like subtle bits of mental health, even whether it's obvious, even if it's direct or indirect. So, and like I said, games like that are they're good therapy. They really are good therapy and a nice escape from the world. Not to say like, hey, don't ignore everything in the real world. Be sure to have an eye on it. But having something like this, it's good to make you sure to bring you down to a level to keep you sane. And even if it was a little difficult along the way, oh God, I loved it so much.
We all need a little escape sometimes. That's what we need.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Sweet.
Okay. So let's jump straight into some news.
Oh.
We got some good items today.
We got some cracking news.
Yeah, a lot of updates, to be fair.
Yeah, lots of Breath of the Wild news actually. So
there is a bit of Breath of the Wild news. So the first of the Breath of the Wild news, like none of this is direct, oddly, is for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You can now ride as Link in the Champion's tunic and ride on his Master Cycle. From the last of the DLC from Breath of the Wild. That's already out now. Your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is probably updated while it's been asleep. So you probably already have it there if you've not played with it yet.
Yeah, we decided to update this for you, but I haven't played it in months. Doesn't care. What's here? I did play some Mario Kart recently, and I did notice the Master Cycle and the new Link outfit.
All right.
I didn't actually play it either, but I saw them there. I saw them on the screen. I saw an AR use it.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. So I raced against them.
Yay.
Yeah. So that's cool. Like, I mean, Mario Kart 8 continues to get updates. Like, we had the Labo update just a couple weeks back. And we have this update here, and I doubt this will be the last.
Who was it? I think one of the producers, before this news on this update said that they had mentioned that they were going to continue to updating Mario Kart 8, whether or not this was big, massive DLC or not, because, Mario Kart 8 still sells like gangbusters right now. I don't know I guess this is what they meant, just small little updates.
Oh, sure, yeah. And you never know, we may get big updates down the road, or there might continue to be little ones. I wouldn't.
250cc.
Wow, yeah.
I tried 200 for like the first time the other day. Actually,
Oh, really?
it's too much. It
Too
really
much
is
for you,
too
Colin.
much.
How much?
Too-
Did you do one race?
Brakes are optional in that mode.
Did you do it on one of the two F-Zero tracks?
Like, no, I didn't try that. No.
Oh, you got to do that with the Blue Falcon. Do it properly, Colin.
Well, then that point, why don't I just play F-Zero?
Well, because we're not getting F-Zero anytime soon.
I can just pop in F-Zero GX and have the exact same experience.
Ooh. Well, there you go. See, that's high praise for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe there. You're getting the same experience.
It doesn't.
You didn't say better experience, the same experience, so you might as well. It's the same thing, Colin. Anyway, we've got some more Breath of the Wild news. Moving swiftly on. This time for Colin. Let's talk about this. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
Oh yeah.
So we're also getting the Champions tunic here, and not to be left out, Palicos can dress up as Koroks.
Yeah.
Do they give you poop?
I cannot confirm or deny.
I don't think they
Palicos
do.
who dress up as Koroks give you poop.
I was kind of surprised at this because I mean, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is a port of a game that came out a fair while ago in Japan. I think it was more or less like not long after the Switch.
Well, it's less of a port. It's just that game.
Yeah.
And I assume you're talking about the Japanese release, or are you talking about the fact that it's an upgrade from the 3DS?
Well, that's about the Japanese release for original.
Yeah.
It's
the same game. It's just finally coming out here, being localized.
Yeah, but the fact they're doing new DLC for it's cool. I wonder if there's actually going to be anything else happening in this. I don't think so, but it is a nice little added bonus. And it looks cool. It's a fun little thing.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense because it like I feel anything which helps this game feel a bit more fresh, and especially anything which makes this feel a bit more like special on a Nintendo system. Now that there is a very popular other Monster Hunter series currently out there, I think will help. So I reckon we may even see some more Nintendo related stuff. Like we've seen like other Nintendo related costumes, but I believe we've seen like a Metroid.
It's got
Samus outfit in there before.
I believe it has all the previous Nintendo like DLC as quests, so you can have Samus to get the Samus outfit. You can get
there's other Zelda ones. So you've got
other Zelda ones.
Ocarina of Time was Link was in Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Yep.
And Wind Waker from Monster Hunter Generations.
Indeed.
Okay.
So you can get those back, and you can also get Fire Emblem.
Ooh.
So that's also
what sort of Fire Emblem stuff can we get?
I believe it's Marth. I think it's just a Marth outfit.
Just a standard, bog standard Marth. Okay.
Marth.
I was about to say, it seemed weird when I saw like Metroid related stuff in the games like that, but then I'm like, wait a minute, Mario and Luigi stuff was in there, so I shut my mouth. So yeah,
yeah, they covered all bases. I mean, it's cool. I'm glad they're doing something with it. It's just a nice little thing. I mean, I don't personally like using the DLC stuff in Monster Hunter because I like to use the Monster Hunter stuff because it looks like it fits more. But it's fun for what it is. It's a fun little thing. But yeah.
Cool. Okay. The next bit of news I've got is a fairly big one. If you like numbers, of course. If you're a numbers guy like me. So we had a new fiscal report from Nintendo. But this one in particular went back on some of the history of their systems, which they don't always seem to do. But obviously we've got the running numbers for the Switch, how well the Switch would be doing, and its software. And so, in terms of like most recent figures, and so last quarter, Switch sold 1.88 million, which
it's all right.
It's all right. I think that sums that one up.
Yeah, but it's the next number though that is very interesting. It's very good.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, this puts in context, I think, as well. So the lifetime shipments now to retail are 19.67 million, so just shy of 20 million. The thing I wanted to highlight, not necessarily in a negative light, but just how like Nintendo are going to be focusing their strategy, at least of selling Switch as a marketing, is that they forecasted selling 20 million this year alone, this fiscal year.
Which Colin, I know, previously said that they don't think that's going to happen. Now I've changed my mind to basically like it will just barely get there. I think
Okay.
that because it's
That's
just
a big holiday. That's a very big holiday.
I know. It's like part of me is like, oh wow, that's easy. They got Pokemon coming out this fall, but also I realize it's kind of divisive. I mean, it's a divisive as in the core audience when they don't realize, hey, there's a portion of Pokemon Go players that are going to be. This is what they're focusing on.
That's what they're going after.
Any fraction of the Pokemon Go audience would make this humongous.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If they get 0.01% of the Pokemon Go audience,
That's like 100,000 people.
Will be one of the best-selling console games ever. That's a do the math. That's not me. Just that's a huge number.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's got a huge percentage. And obviously we've got Smash Bros as well. We've got other releases. Another little news item is there's a new Labo kit coming out. Not too long. I don't have the actual date, but I'm assuming that they're expecting some sort of combined Labo effort in the holidays, in particular, will be a mover as well, because they've already stated that they didn't necessarily expect Labo to be a huge hit from the get-go, but they wanted it out there for events, whether they're birthdays, but also for the holiday season. They can put new stuff out, which they're now doing. So Switch already surpassed obviously the Wii U itself a little while back now,
and it's now nipping at the heels, I believe, at GameCube, which was like 21 or 22 million officially worldwide.
Oh, that's sad, isn't it? I love the GameCube.
Oh no, love it. Whatever. I mean, I think it was like the OG Xbox finished like 2 or 3 million above it. Whatever, just cementing in there. But then again, you just look at that console generation because the PS2 was just such a huge juggernaut at that time.
It was.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to mention is so they updated like the million sellers, and you might groan here, but I think I'm genuinely presenting this as an interesting fact here. But ARMS has crossed 2 million.
I'm happy. Happy?
Yeah, I can see they're Colin going
for a new.
I think a new IP in a fighting genre. I think that's pretty good. Like. Oh, Colin's not happy. What's wrong?
Colin, what's wrong?
2 million's all right for ARMS.
Come on, you're not happy for ARMS selling 2 million?
Not everything can be Splatoon.
ARMS just sucks.
Oh. How do I boot some out of the chat?
I think we get the patrons to vote on that one. Should we?
I tried ARMS. I don't find it fun.
That's fine. That's fine for you. Whatever. I
think it's horrendous, but yeah.
But can you at least appreciate the character? I'd be like the character
horrendous.
You said the characters are horrendous?
No, I said the game itself was horrendous. But, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. Even the character design it's okay. I don't know. I was just like nothing.
But with this also the fact that I think this tells me is like, okay, if this sells 2 million within, okay, this ends of like this physical results ended at like the end of June. That's in 1 year of its release. So if that just tells me something, it's like, hopefully that gives Nintendo confidence to realize, hey, let's try even more new stuff out. Even if we get one that sells a way of ARMS, we could probably have another Splatoon on our hands too.
Just into the gumption to be like, hey, we can sell anything. We can do anything we want.
All right, let's jump to some other numbers. So another interesting one. So Mario Tennis Aces only came out last month.
Right.
That's now sold 1.38 million.
Nice.
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, obviously a port from the fantastic Wii U original release, 1.4 million. So on the heavy hitters side, so the biggest selling Switch game is actually Super Mario Odyssey. I said because it's usually Mario Kart, but Super Mario Odyssey has hit 11.17 million, which also, considering it came out late last year, so it's not a full year behind it yet. Very impressive. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, again, another Wii U port, 10.35 million. So again, just behind Mario Odyssey. You've got Kirby Star Allies, 1.89 million as well, which is actually pretty high for a Kirby game.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's not listed on here right now, but I think that's sold just shy under 2 million, which is for a niche JRPG.
Or, yeah, for like a very niche genre, that's very good.
And a very Japanese JRPG as well.
More impressive than Arms breaking 2 million, I'll tell you that.
Oh wow! Salty Colin's back. Let's get
I cannot wait until his reaction when Twintel or something gets introduced in Smash. Why do I ask?
I wouldn't care.
He just wouldn't even remember it. He even has news. It's like, was that a thing? Are you making it up?
He'll play Smash Ultimate and be like, "Who's your main?" I'm like, no one, and you just push aside Twintel. I'm like, and everybody's asking, why are you saying Twintel and not like Ribbon Girl or Springman? Because putting Twintel would be a better message, I feel like, as far as like, oh, it's diversity, more representation, and also
it's where Snake's butt went.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh no. Oh now, okay, you're not the only one who mentioned about that. Everybody get context of that one right now, because apparently the internet got so upset because the designs nerfed like Snake's butt design.
He's got a flat butt now.
Yeah, and I'm just
like,
like,
peachy butt before.
I know, and I just looked at that. I'm like, who cares if that is? I remember people were complaining about Zero Suit Samus's bust size in Smash Ultimate, and even when I looked at the Wii U version, I'm like, it's a little obnoxious. This is like bordering on like Soul Calibur levels or whatever. And then I guess Sakurai's like, yeah, we'll just tone that down a little bit. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever, that's good. And then
it's fairly faithful to other M design by Team Ninja, to be fair.
It is.
I'm not sure it was them who made the shots, but if it was, that it's in their wheelhouse. And so.
But yeah, that's our discussion of butts in Smash Brothers. There we go.
There you go.
I think our numbers discussion as well. I think we covered the main, all the games on this particular list, which is sourced from NintendoWorldReport.com. It's not the full listing.
Which, by the way, can I say to the folks over at Nintendo World Report, you're all doing a fantastic job out there, and I would say that great people who work over there. A couple I follow on Twitter, awesome. So
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was gonna like do a weird like podcast plug for them. Do check them out, but don't like them, more than us if you don't mind.
I know, no. They
come back to us afterwards. They do a very good show.
They don't need our plugs because it's like they do well on. I mean, we're just three dudes who are trying to get ourselves out. But yeah, but no. Like I said, there's some dang good people over there.
Yeah, so the only segue I could kind of think of to wrap that round is I've actually been on a few Nintendo World Report podcasts.
Oh, you were a celebrity over here.
I've been, I think, at least 3, maybe 4. That includes their side pod, because they've got like a whole family of podcasts now. I think I've been on 2 main episodes and 2 like connectivities or something.
Mm-hmm. Good record.
But that's one of the perks from releasing a game on a Nintendo system.
That's right. You see, that's your foot in the door right there.
Yeah, the real hidden reason. Just to get on the end of the
okay, I just want to go back on the whole back in the sales numbers, whatever.
Sure.
When it said Labo, it sold like 1.39 million combined.
Yes.
And I heard everybody was like discussing, is this good or bad? I'm like, it's cardboard for an idea. I'm like, so I'd say, yeah, that's good.
It's all right.
It depends what your scale is. Like, if you were thinking, like, to be fair, I think I was at a point where I was like, I think this could be the new Wii Sports. It's not that.
Yeah, obviously.
It's definitely not that. But it's not. It's how you judge success, though. But it's real tricky, like, to get in the heads of Nintendo. Like, do they think this is a success? I mean, they've announced a Volume 3 or a third kit. I think the real test would be if we see more kits beyond the third, because I imagine the third was kind of in development.
Yeah, easy.
Already before they had like the sales figures to actually analyze. So yeah, I reckon that real test is going to be if we see like Labo kits come out next year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's going to cover the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And with that covers the show itself. And so as usual. Let's go around the three of us and let you know how you can get hold of us and anything we've been up to that we'd like you to know about. Harrison.
Yes, Lewis.
How can the fine folks of the internet get hold of you?
You can reach me at Twitter at @hmilfeld, and if you want to become my Switch friend, my profile is pinned to the top of my Twitter profile. And anything else, you can check out my work at purenintendo.com. We just recently released our digital version of our E3 or post E3 issue, and you can find definitely a lot of my thoughts on Killer Queen Black, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Also, I'm drawing a blank here right now as well. Overcooked 2, which I believe is coming out in about a week or two.
I've been playing some Overcooked recently. Looking forward to number 2.
It is good. I actually appreciate how you could toss food in that game. I think that's one of the best things. So,
is it a game changer?
Yep. But that's where you can find me. Mm-hmm.
And Colin, how can people get hold of you, and what game changes do you have to bring?
Oh, game changers, that's the thing. So you can find me on Twitter at highlyabard, which is I think it's spelled. My friend code, it might be my pin tweet. I think it is. If not, to give you a poke, I'll tell you what it is. As for game changes, wait, what?
Throw a sheep in his direction. He'll tell you where his current code is.
I'll send you a message. As for like outside stuff, Twitch. You can find me streaming some Nintendo related stuff on Twitch at the Highly Barred. I put the at the beginning because some person took my name.
How rude. Imposter.
I know.
Do they stream randomized Zelda Ocarina of Time games as well?
No, they don't. They haven't done anything with their channel. It's like
wasted potential there.
I know, it's annoying. But twitch.tv/the Highly Barred. There we go.
Okay, well, for me, if you want to find me, best place is for Twitter, so I hope you use that and all like using the service. The name you need is Luvision, and the way you spell that is Leuvision. And for myself, please, just in general, if you check out, if you like the show, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Nintendo Voice, is where you can go to support us, and you can give us super topics, which is basically a feature of your choosing. It can be a news item you want us to dig into. It can be something a bit more elaborate if you want us to go into a particular idea you've come up with. Let us know. You've got a dedicated podcast feature just for you. Patreon.com/Nintendo Voice. And thank you once again for listening. And this has been Nintendo Voice.
Laters, everybody.
Take care, everyone.